Hi, so we're almost done taking out the extra stuff in this world, which is really good. Um, Not entirely sure about, down the street there, but we'll figure that out later. Um, we've been trying to take this out and put the hospital in. That's about it. And I did something a little silly, which may or may not have to do anything with me being tired at the moment, but I woke up in the middle of the night to go upstairs and got that all taken care of, and then came back down here and my puzzle was on my screen, so it had to be finished. Yeah. So finished that, and then I woke up at almost 8:30, and it's like, oh man, already late. But at least I'm streaming. At least I was streaming. Um, anyway, I am tired at the moment, so I probably will not be staying on um, past 11. It's only 10:11 right now, so yeah. Um, I usually stream. Okay, so I usually stream 8 to 11 my time, which is Pacific Standard Daylight, whatever you want to call it, time. Um, and it can be anywhere between 8 and noon. It's supposed to be 8 to 11, but it can be anywhere between 8 and noon. And, because sometimes I'm just not done when it comes to Minecraft. Like I got that one more house to color, and I'll have the street done. Or, or in this case, I just need to take out a little bit more building, and I'll have it. So anyway, just in case I'm gonna fall asleep or the internet cuts out again. Wasn't the internet really, it was the stream. Because I didn't see anything, saying that we didn't have internet for a moment there. And technically, we shouldn't have any problems where we don't have internet at some point in time. Um, the modem is, yeah, the modem is like 6 feet away from my Xbox, so there really is no reason for it to not have signal. There's really no reason for it to not download things fast, stuff like that. We're supposed to be having a 5G signal, and a lot of times we have a 4G signal. Or at least we did before the new cord. It keeps going from 2 to 4 today. That's so weird. Then 3. Okay, I'm just saying you can't tell me a brand new cord. Does not work. I mean, we bought it yesterday from Best Buy, who actually did have the Best Buy this time. Just because they were, oddly enough, they were $1 cheaper than Walmart. Now I'm back to 2. So weird. Anyway, I am tired and, maybe not tired enough to go to sleep, but you never know. Because I felt like I needed to go to sleep during the beginning part of the stream. I had to play It's a Small World like 8 times. I literally had to play It's a Small World like 8 times to get all of the little areas done. Because it's like on Disneyland Adventures. It's like the Princess Fantasy Fair where you just gotta hit the buttons at the right time. And, it's pretty easy. And not having the music actually helps a lot. Because you can't have the music because it's copyrighted, I think if it's on a video game and you're not saying this is my music, it shouldn't be a problem. Because I'm not saying it's my music. I'm just, listening to it while it's that part of the game. I think that part actually, the It's a Small World, I can actually have the music on, but I'm not sure. I know I cannot have it on for Princess Fantasy Fair. And if I dare have the music on for like Mega Hide and Seek on Roblox, they go and come up with all kinds of weird stuff that I was listening to while I was playing that level. Or that game. Anyway, before I, uh, get so tired that I end up turning it off, um, in the description below, there will be 6 different links to my 6 different books. And, I do write to Amazon. They come in hardback, paperback, and ebook. They are The Rolling Sea Beginnings, Book 1, Pirate's Daughter. The Rolling Sea Beginnings, Book 2, Misfortune. The Rolling Sea Beginnings, Book 3, Hard Times. The Rolling Sea Traitor, Book 1, Esperanza's Party. The Rolling Sea Traitor, Book 2, The Island. And a separate series called Adopted Coral. And, hopefully coming soon, because I've had more days when I didn't want to work on a story than days when I wanted to work on it. But yesterday was one of the ones where I wanted to work on it, but I kept getting distracted by everything in the house. Um, Murder She Wrote puzzle, that Jewel game that, if you're trying to get Xbox points, the Jewel game that they have you play. I was getting distracted by everything. Kitty cats. But anyway, supposedly coming soon. The Rolling Sea Beginnings. In the Rolling Sea Traitor Book 3 Lessons in Love. And then I'm either going to work on. I really want to work on Finding Love, which has nothing to do with the other two. It's got some of the same characters, but it really has nothing to do with it because it's Jake's story. Jake is the navigator. He's the guy that would go and look at the map and say, okay, go in a starboard direction and you'll find it, They're the person that goes and points it out on the map and makes sure the helmsman knows where he's going. The helmsman's the guy at the ship steering wheel. Anyway, so I'm thinking about working on that one, so then I'll progress the beginning of the story a little bit further. But I'm not sure. I'll probably go into Test and Love instead, just because I really want to get those. I really want to get those done. Well, I want to get all of that done, but anyway. I've got like 2 more. I think I've got 2. I've got Finding Love, Missionary, Amnesia and Lost Memory, I think it is. But the problem is that Amnesia would come a little later. I think Amnesia would come a little later. And really I had to write a story about, or at least a chapter about what Michelle's dad was like when he was on Katie's ship. I don't know. Never thought about that before, but it would kind of make sense. So there's this one actor who acted on an episode of Star Trek Next Generation, and he's on this episode of Murder She Wrote. It's a TV show, by the way, if I haven't bothered to tell you before. Murder She Wrote has Angela Lansbury in it. She's one that did the voice for Mrs. Potts on Beauty and the Beast, and she's in Bedknobs and Broomsticks, and she played Elvis's mom in Blue Hawaii. She was drinking too much in that movie, though. So I don't know if she, like, I don't know if she had a drinking problem back when, or if that was the only, the only part that she could get. But it was really weird watching her play Elvis's mom. Like, especially when you weren't expecting it. It was so weird. But, oh, and a fun fact for you. Kurt Russell is in an Elvis movie called It Happened at the World's Fair. And Elvis is trying to get, and Elvis is trying to get the attention of this lady he saw. That was back when, you were a girl until you were a woman, Um, but anyway, it was just the way, it was just the way that they talked at the time. And it was perfectly acceptable for some weird reason. But anyway, not the point here. What movie was I talking about? Oh, okay. So the lady is a nurse. She's the nurse just in case you, like, ate too much cotton candy and then proceeded to go on, like the tilt-a-whirl. She'll give you something to settle your stomach out and so you feel better. Well, he goes and has Kurt Russell kick him in the shin, I think. Or maybe he was trying to pretend that Kurt Russell was his kid. I can't remember. But anyway, he got kicked by Kurt Russell. I think that was his first role ever. But I'm not entirely sure about that. But he did such a good job that he ended up in Disney and working at Disneyland, I guess. Because that's what it showed on. Okay, so when Donny Osmond was about 12 years old, he went to Disneyland with his 5 brothers. I mean, 4 brothers. There was 5 of them, all together. He went to Disneyland with his 4 brothers. Well, he's got more than that, but I think there's 7 brothers altogether, and then there's Marie. But anyway, the ones that were, singing with him, they all went to Disneyland so that they could sing. I guess there was a stage in Tomorrowland or something. That's what it looked like. and um, the Osmond brothers and E.J. Peeker were going to sing a song on that stage. Well, there's a small problem. They decided to go on the omnibus, which was called a double-decker bus at that time. I've always heard the double-decker bus, and then all of a sudden, you know, in recent years, it's an omnibus. It's like, where did you get that? But whatever you call it, um, seriously, whatever you call it, that's what it ended up being. And, they were writing on it, and you can tell I'm a little bit tired. But anyway, they were writing on it and singing a song, and then they got to the end of Main Street and were getting off, and one of the Country Bear Jamboree bears, I think, anyway, lured Donnie off somewhere else. So then all of a sudden they had no idea where Donnie was. He's in Disneyland, but they don't know where. So anyway, so in the description below there'll be, one link for each one of my books, and I said the titles. Oh, I would love it if everyone would buy at least one of my books, because I would be able to do the awesome things that I want to be able to do with it, like, donate to cancer research and make some kids' Christmas awesome. I would really be I would really love to be able to do that. And I heard tell that at least here in our part of Nevada, there is not going to be a WIC office open anymore. So, so I would really love to be able to donate to the food banks, because that is going to be the only way that, because my husband decided that, if they're going to stop funding for the WIC office, which is going to put a big strain on some moms, because they're all of a sudden going to have to buy the formula outright and not have anybody to help them with it. And some people are going to be poor like me, where they can't afford to do that. I got really lucky. I was able to live with my mom for a little while, or live with my dad for a little while, and then live with my mom for a little while, and then live with my dad again. When I was pregnant with my daughter, so I didn't have to worry about that. But we really needed it when our son was born. I don't know how we did it, but we did. Anyway, I know I'm not going to save people I'm not going to be able to save people um, one handed, but maybe if I start doing, if I start donating money to these worthy causes like cancer research, then, somebody else will donate the little bit more that we need to, finally find a real cure that works for everybody. And it'll be like when you have a cold and you take NyQuil or Robitussin or something like that. Or like when uh, when you sneeze when you go outside, you take allergy medicine and it makes it a lot better or makes it all gone. My allergy medicine makes it all gone, but I don't know if that's because it's like stopping off the senses that sense that kind of stuff, or if it's, I don't know if it's because it's like stopping off the sinuses or what. But I haven't felt too many symptoms this year, and I think that's weird. Hello? Good morning. I know you're not going to say good morning, but I think he's looking for a brother. Oh, I was going to say each cat only has one brother, but that's not true. Because if you count Bobby as part of the family to where I'm mama and my husband's daddy and, like that, even though she started out as a kitty niece, then she's got two brothers. But the two boys only have one brother because, they are a brother and then, they've got a brother. Weird things that go on in my head when I'm doing the weirdest things on here. Yay! We just got to remove that house and we'll be done. We'll be able to go back to coloring houses again or, finishing the floor in the hospital or whatever we're going to do. Right now, I'm tired. I don't know if it's quite to where I want to go back to sleep, but I didn't think staying up a little longer than necessary was really going to do this to me because, like I've done it before and I've been wide awake in the morning and then this time I'm just kind of tired. And before anybody decides that maybe I'm pregnant or something like that, I'm not. I can't be ever again. I'm just tired. Um, so one time I was in the car with my grandma and um we had gone to the store so I'd have something to eat because I guess It was a last minute decision. My brother was sleeping over at his friend's house. My sister was sleeping over at her friend's house, and um, usually I would have slept over at Mama's house, but this time Mama wasn't available for some reason. So it might have been when she was still. No, it couldn't have been when she was still living in Sacramento. I don't know. But it was before Ashley, so. Anyway, whatever the situation was, I ended up staying over at my grandma's house. And that was okay, except for she fell asleep at the wheel and we almost crashed into a parked car. I don't think I told anybody about that except for over here. You know, so like when I'm tired when I shouldn't be, I kind of think of that and I'm like, I wonder. So, anyway, so one of the um YouTubers I watch that does Minecraft is named Loverfella. You might know about him, you might not. Um, anyway, he usually does challenges with his brother. Like they'll break into somebody's house and see if they can uh live there and maybe steal all their stuff. They always give it back in the end, but steal all their stuff and then or like improve their base. Like they thought that it looked kind of horrible on the inside, so they go in and change it. Well, I'm like, what if I liked it that way? But I like watching those things, and some of the other stuff they do. But there was something that like really caught my eye, and I don't know what it was, but it wasn't the one that just played silently in the background. So anyway, we're gonna have to figure that out. So this morning I played It's a Small World and um, it ended up being a two-parter because the internet. I mean, not the internet, but Twitch. Um, Messed up for a moment, and I'm getting tired of it. I don't understand how people do that because they'll be live. They'll be totally live, and all of a sudden um their stream cut out, and it's still all one thing. I do not get it. Okay, so... So we're almost done. Isn't that awesome? Now that I'm looking, I don't even know that this was supposed to be flat, but... Yeah, I don't think it was supposed to be. We'll figure that out in a minute then. Are we not done yet? Oh, man. Thought we were done yet. So, I have the option fire spreads turned off. So, even if I did get, like if my building got hit by lightning, it wouldn't be a big deal. Okay, I'm confused. I want to say it was a oh, it looked like it was a Lowe's commercial question mark or Home Depot. Anyway, but they were showing paper towels, and then there was a little snowman symbol or animation, one of those two. And I'm confused what they were trying to sell there. And I am already tired of the political ads where Obama is trying to say that Trump is an evil, corrupt person when he's Mr. Holiday Tree. Yeah. Ain't starting that argument again, just, putting it out there. And I am not really trying to be mean, but it's going to sound that way. Obama's got, like, Dumbo ears. It's the first thing I see every time I see him. He looks like he's got this normal sized head for his body, and then he's got these big old ears that are like, going, hello, I'm here. I'm sorry, it's weird. I've never seen anybody have, that big of ears before. I was just thinking, I don't remember anybody actually discovering where he's from. We're all like convinced that he's not from America, but we never did figure out where. Aren't ears and noses like kind of distinct for certain countries? Could we figure it out that way? He's been president before, no big deal. God willing, he won't be president again. 'Cause I didn't think he did that great of a job. And he'd probably have Kamala as his vice president, which is not okay because she's a liar. Miss, I had a summer job at McDonald's too. Yeah, a summer job, if you even had it. There's no proof. And I know that they do everything on computer, so although maybe they didn't then, but still, there's no proof. Since I heard there's no proof, I liked her for a red hot second when she was saying that, and then all of a sudden I started pointing out that she said she had a summer job at McDonald's, and our friend Sid actually watches the news and does his research and stuff. There's no proof of that. And there was a whole bunch of stuff that she was saying that I hope she never becomes our president. Because they were out and out lies. You don't really pay attention to where your tongue goes when you're talking until you have a problem with one of your teeth. And I've got either a jagged part of my tooth somehow, or the middle piece that is holding my teeth in place. Like braces, but not on the front side. It's on the back side, and I guess they were supposed to take it out, but they didn't. And, I didn't know how to make an appointment back when, so I really needed to have it taken care of then. But I didn't. I just didn't know how to do it. So anyway, when we got Ashley, I learned how to make appointments fast. But it's like something that they don't teach you in school, something your parents just assume and that you know how to do until you make an appointment. How? You didn't teach me this thing. How am I supposed to know how to do it? It might sound like I'm being stupid, but really, I'm not. I really do want to know. How was I supposed to know? But anyway, so it's either the middle piece is sticking out, or one of my teeth is a little jagged, and I think it's the tooth. But it's like messing with my tongue, and I don't like it. Hey, I wonder if we could get like if you sign up for food stamps and stuff, you can get medical to go with it. It's usually if you have a family, but I wonder if we could get the medical, and maybe they'll have a dental thing in there too, and I could use that before they go out of they're supposed to be like, the workers are supposed to be laid off, so they could come back when there's more funding. So I wonder if we could do that and use that, or if it would be we could get food stamps and that's it. Or they're like not taking any new they're not taking any new cases because uh the two offices are shutting down, which is stupid because people rely on that. I realize some people exploit it. They go and use it, like instead of getting a job that might be able to support their family. Like say they've got an engineering degree and they don't go for engineering, they go for Walmart. Yeah, just so they can keep their benefits. And it's like, well, okay. So I understand that there's those people, or the people that used to have, um, they had the baby and they were too poor to buy food and stuff for themselves at that time. So then they have another baby and get more food stamps, and then another baby and get more. Yeah. There used to be people that did that. You can't do that now, though, or at least not in California, because, whatever babies you had before you signed up, they count. Any babies that you had after you signed up, they don't count. And I don't know who decided that. But for those people who exploit the system, I totally understand. But for me and my family, we just needed it because we couldn't afford both bills and food. And then on top of that, we ended up not being able to afford the rent. Okay, oh, so So I was complaining yesterday that I didn't have my Game Pass Ultimate, and I really wanted to have it. I mean, I really need to have it so I can play all of my games. Especially since Disney Dreamlight Valley that I play on Wednesdays wouldn't let me play it because I don't own it. Well, yeah, I do. I've owned it since August 2022, but for some reason it's not registering as that on the Xbox. It all of a sudden one day decided you're going to play it on Game Pass Ultimate or you're going to play it on Game Pass Ultimate, and that's it. So then it's not showing that I actually own the game because I never paid money to own the game, but the company that makes it, Gameloft, they gifted it to a whole bunch of people. So we could I guess so we could like try to get the issues out for the first year because like September 2023 September 2023 is when it like officially became a game. I mean, it was a game since September 2022, but it was like totally official September 2023. So, um, it didn't have as many bugs as it did when we first got it. Like, like one of the things that was bugging me, not a whole lot of things were bugging me back when. You know, there wasn't any dress clipping or disappearing or um or like things not being able to get finished. Um there wasn't a whole lot of that back when. Actually none of the clothes disappeared, so I was like really happy about that. But um one of the things was there was an Xbox achievement for getting 4,500 vegetables harvested. And I didn't know if it was a Gameloft thing or if it was a Microsoft thing because, they own Xbox. And, I just did not know. So I reached out to both of them, and Gameloft's like, the ones out of Wally's Garden don't count, right? I'm like, yeah. I found that out the hard way, but yeah. And, this was like a year afterwards, so I should have had that achievement no problem, right? Well, I sat there and I recorded the whole thing. I sat there and I did every single vegetable in the game and told them what my YouTube channel was and had them watch me, had them watch me do all of the vegetables. And I thought it was very awesome of them because as soon as they saw that, they're like, oh, and fixed it and gave me I got the achievement on the Xbox for the 4,500 vegetables, and I got one for having 30 houses when we only had like 26 or 24. So I feel guilty about that, but we got more than 30 now, so. But I felt guilty about that. I think I actually got another achievement, but I don't remember what it was. Anyway, it was very nice of them. I just didn't like the way that they were treating me at first. It's like, the ones in Wally's garden don't count, right? Yeah. You did make sure it was a vegetable, right? you know. I think they were just trying to go about it logically. And I'm like, okay. So at one point I'm like naming off, okay, I tried spinach, I tried soya, I tried corn, I tried carrots, I tried lettuce. You know, went through the whole list. None of them counted. But now, thanks to that, none of you have to suffer with it, is my point. Um, yeah, so I think on Wednesday I'm going to try. Well, no, I can't on Wednesday because if I do that on Wednesday, then I won't be wearing the witch's dress that I've been wearing. But maybe on Wednesday I will change my outfit long enough to see if the dresses still clip, because they weren't supposed they weren't supposed to clip, but um that's exactly what they said, is no clipping. But I don't remember if they said no disappearing, and if they still disappear, then I've got to tell them about it. Upfront payment of $45. Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile says that it's $15 a month, and then it says upfront payment of $45. I haven't been able to read past that because it doesn't stay on the screen long enough. Sounds shisty to me. I don't know if people still say that, but I never claimed to be like totally up and up on the um on all the lingo. There's a guy on this episode that looks like he could have been in The Sound of Music if he was younger, but it would have been a remake for how old the guy is, but I don't think he was at the time. Pretty sure he wasn't at the time. So, my husband's TV accidentally turned on when I turned on my TV. So, Murder, She Wrote is playing silently in the background. And there's this one they're on a movie studio lot. Pretty sure it's a movie studio. Anyway, because it could be a TV studio, but I'm pretty sure it was a movie studio. And there's this guy that works there, but he lost his apartment, so he's uh he's living on uh um he's like living in the prop room. That's what it is. So, yeah. Oh, I started filling in the floor here and it's 11:10. See, I told you it could go over. Wait, how much further do we got? Oh, dang. A lot. I gotta go get my husband up because he's been in bed too long. Besides, I need him to double check, make sure that he's not supposed to go to work tomorrow. That's one after that. Because he said the one after that. But I thought it was tomorrow. I don't know. No, that's going to take too long. And I have to go upstairs. So I told you about my books. And if you're watching me on Twitch right now, please follow and chat. If you're watching me on YouTube right now, please like, share, comment, subscribe, notification bell. Last I checked, we were up to 503 subscribers. Let's double check that. Trying to, excuse me. No, I did not click on this. I clicked on this. Oh, okay. Oh, that's not good. Sounds like somebody's cat is having health issues. So we still have 503 subscribers. We've got 4,680 views in the last 28 days. And not that button. And they're counting 1,562 valid watch hours. We need 3,000. Please help me. Please, please, please. And I guess I'll have to hop off of here and well, let's go back the other way because if it starts raining again while we're gone, I don't want my character to get wet when we spawn back in. Oh, I was telling you about the guy with and that's living at the movie theater. some guys walked into the room and he got scared. So he had to hide under the table, and somehow he wasn't there when they looked under the table. So it was pretty cool. But I don't remember the name of the episode. Anyway, I will see you in the next stream or video.